Hello, YouTube. How y'all doing? I am Queen Lillie. Welcome to my live. As you guys are coming in, be sure to hit that like button. Hit the like button. It keeps me in the algorithm. Today, we're discussing Donald Trump and the Epstein files. We will touch other topics as well, but right now we're discussing Donald Trump and the Epstein files. That is what we're covering. We will discuss so many different topics, from the 211 Republicans that voted to protect the pedos. Donald Trump is a felon, and what Ozzy Osbourne thought about Donald Trump. We will cover the Democrats invoke rare federal law demanding the DOJ release the Epstein files. We will be discussing the Democrats invoke rare federal law demanding the DOJ release the Epstein files. Thank you, Queen Victoria's one, for coming back. Thank you, King LaSwan. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's what we are discussing. We're going to also discuss Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's victims, and she and Donald Trump. We're going to discuss what's the problem with Trump's problem with Black women. We're going to talk about Trump in a little bit. We're going to dabble a little bit into the Trump and Beyoncé situation. We're going to talk about, even throw a little of that Diddy in there, because Trump is considering pardoning Diddy. Donald Trump is considering pardoning Diddy. Not just considering pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, but Diddy as well. Hit that like button as you are coming in. Thank you. Also, I have memberships. My first membership is a Ruby's membership for $4.99. And the second membership is the Diamonds membership for $9.99. Become a member. Hit that like button as you are coming in. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can send me super chats and super stickers. They are all welcome. In my description is my Venmo. If you want to send me something through Venmo, that is welcome as well. Also in my description is my PayPal link. So if you want to support me through PayPal, you can support me through PayPal as well. Thank you all. So we're going to go ahead and get started, you guys. Like I said, Trump, a fool, and his money will soon depart. And why am I saying this? I'm making a statement because there's going to be different point of views that I'm going to have and others are going to have. And it's going to eventually lead to Trump losing it all, in my opinion. But what I'm going to talk about right now is never forget the 211 Republicans voted to protect pedophiles. I'm going to show you who I'm talking about. The 211 Republicans that voted to protect pedos. I'm going to read the brief description about it. It said 211 House Republicans blocked the release of the Epstein files. And now the DOJ confirms it's Trump connected. MAGA's hero is an actual predator and potential pedo or pedo enabler. This isn't leadership. It's betrayal to the American people. Protecting elites and pedos over justice and survivors. Okay, well, you know, Ozzy Osbourne was laid to rest today. God bless his soul. So I'm going to let you guys know something and tell you how he felt about Donald Trump. So this is Ozzy. He was laid to rest today, and I'm going to read to you what it says, okay? Donald Trump is a felon. Correct me if I'm wrong. He can't own a gun, a pow-pow, but he can start World War III on his own. That's the words from Ozzy Osbourne. He has been laid to rest today, and his loved ones, we send out our condolences to his loved ones. Next, we're going to see a video, and it's going to be talking about the Democrats invoke a rare federal law demanding the DOJ release the Epstein files. Again, the Democrats invoke a rare federal law demanding the DOJ release the Epstein files. One moment, please.
I was really proud to join every single one of my Democratic colleagues on the Homeland Committee in invoking a century-old and little-known law known as the Rule of Five to compel the Department of Justice to release the full and complete Epstein files. Under federal law, when any 5 senators on the Homeland Security Committee call on the executive branch must comply. Our request covers all documents, files, evidence, and other materials in possession of the DOJ, the FBI, related to the case of United States versus Jeffrey Epstein. While protecting the victims' identities can and must be of top importance, the public has a right to know who enabled, knew of, or participated in one of the most heinous sex trafficking operations in history. Let me remind everyone of what's happened in recent months. Donald Trump campaigned on releasing the Epstein files. He broke that promise. In February, FBI Director Kash Patel promised during sworn testimony in his confirmation hearing he would, quote, make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened. Well, that has yet to happen. AG Bondi said in February that a supposed, quote, client list, she said, was sitting on her desk right now to review. And she said that's been a directive by President Trump. 5 months later, we have zero answers, only more questions. What have we gotten since? Stonewall, evasion, lies. So today, Senate Democrats took action. We're invoking federal law and using our authority as a check on the executive to compel transparency. That's why today's letters matter. Today's letter matters. It's not a stunt. It's not symbolic. It's a formal exercise of congressional power under federal law. And we expect an answer from DOJ by August the 15th.
What's at stake here is not just the president's promises.
Somebody messing with my live, y'all, but we're going to keep going.
JFK files and Epstein files, end quote. That's President Trump. What's at stake here is more than the president's promises. It's the credibility of our justice system and the question whether there was proper criminal prosecution, whether it was complete and full, whether it was accurate, and what additional facts the American people are entitled to know. What's at stake is also the victims. This crime by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell was not a victimless crime. It was not just about money laundering. It was not just about lying to the government. It was about exploiting women, in fact, girls. Girls who were mercilessly and repeatedly subject to abuse and trafficking. And that is why the American people have a right to know who else was involved, whether the system really was rigged in favor of the rich and powerful, which is what the suspicion has been on the part of a lot of the president's supporters and why they so enthusiastically greeted his promises of full disclosure. He's broken those promises. We're going to enforce the law to make him fulfill his commitments to be transparent and full in disclosure.
Well, do y'all believe that Donald Trump is going to be transparent? I don't think so. It's not in him to be transparent. It's in him to be a con man, but nothing about Donald Trump says transparency. It doesn't. Neither will you get that from his cabinet. Not Bundy, not Kash Patel, not even Mike Johnson. You're not getting transparency from them. So we got to fight harder to get those files. I've never seen a cabinet more corrupted than Donald Trump's cabinet. I'm going to show you this and I'm going to read it, okay? Why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this about Virginia Giuffre because just yesterday, Donald Trump stated that Jeffrey Epstein stole his girls. Listen to that kind of wording. And he said he stole his girls from his spa. Today in life, spas, a lot of them are not really spas. And even back then, A lot of them were not spas. They just carried the title spa. Why did you have teenagers working at your spa, Donald Trump? Because Virginia Giuffre was not 17 nor 18. I think she was 14 or 15 years old when she worked at your spa. Why was she a teen working at a spa? Why, Dunny? She was underage. Donald Trump said that Epstein stole some of his girls. He didn't say employees. Think. Y'all not slow. Y'all are intelligent, beautiful kings and queens in my chat. Think. This is what has been said. Virginia Giuffre confirmed years ago that Jeffrey Epstein used Mar-a-Lago as his hunting grounds. While Epstein visited Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell was actively recruiting girls. That's not speculation. That's testimony. And those are the words of Virginia. Go back to what Donald Trump said again about Epstein. First, he said they fell out, I think, about some real estate deals, but he has given different excuses why him and Epstein were no longer communicating. He known Epstein since the 90s. No, may go further than that because his first wife. So it goes further. It's more than a decade that he had known Jeffrey Epstein. He has not been honest with the American people. So right now, what's Trump's problem with Black women? We're going to shortly talk about this if we're going to get back to the Epstein situation. I'm going to read off you some things. And the reason why I'm just breaking this up because it goes to another subject after this. One moment. What's Trump's problem with Black women? I'm going to give you a couple pointers. I'm not going to read all of this because it's very long and we don't have that kind of time. One moment. Give me a moment, y'all. I got to scroll down to it. I hope I picked the right, because there were different ones I chose from. Did I pick the right one? Y'all know how you be picking stuff? Let's see what it says. Hold on. Bear with me. It says, I am a rarity. For 20 years, I was an active Black female Republican. I interned for a U.S. Senator and for the Republican National Committee. I worked for the first female Republican governor of New York for the House Government Reform and Oversight Committee on George Bush's legal response team during his 2004 campaign at 28. I was even nominated to run for Congress. I was inspired to join the party when I heard Jack Kemp give a speech on my college campus in 1988 about what it meant to be a true Republican. Kemp understand that if the GOP he loved did not begin to embrace people of color or offer devastated urban communities a way to wealth, opportunity, and prosperity, it would fade to nothing, eventually losing its voters and its soul. Unfortunately, the most of the time in the GOP was spent watching it move away from vision. I saw that party become more and more methodical white, Southern, conservative, and reactionary. I say good African American work. I saw good African American work faithfully in the party only to be blackballed, ran out, or passed over for promotional time and time again. Personally, I watched my good friends like Kellyanne Conway and Paul Ryan, who both started when I did, excel, and be given opportunities to rise, while my career and others like me seemed to stall. And also, I left and I went to the private sector. But I never thought I'd see GOP stoop to where it is today. As Senator Jeff Flake said in his powerful speech on Tuesday, I simply do not recognize the Republican Party of Donald Trump. I feared this during the campaign when Trump subtly encouraged racism strands in American politics. I knew it when it failed to condemn white supremacists after Charlottesville. But what stood out to me recently are his ongoing attacks on Black women and other women of color. The, the president isn't one to hold his fire for anyone, but he seemed in particular to enjoy berating, belittling, and bemoaning strong, independent Black women. Worse, he dismisses them entirely, reinforcing America's worst stereotypes and encouraging the most bigot, yes, deplorable amongst us not to reform, but to join in. The coup de grace occurred last week after Trump called Maisha Johnson, the widow of a slain Army Sergeant Lord David Johnson, to offer his condolences. His comments were not well received by the widow or long-term family friend, Representative Felicia Wilson. After Wilson and Johnson, both African-American women, went public with their version of the phone call, Trump went to attack. So far, he's called Wilson wacky 3 times. And most heartbreakingly, he publicly implied that Johnson, a grieving war widow, was lying. Donald Trump lies more than anybody. I have never heard a president lie more than that man. And why did I bring up this subject in this article written by Politico? Is because now we're going to talk about what he's doing now, presently, today, and he continues to bash Queen Beyoncé, a superstar, someone that is on a level his wife has never been on, nor has his daughter, and would never see the light to do it because they're not great. Hold on, let me find the article. Okay, here it is. I will just sit this right here. Trump and his cabinet are Delulu. And I'm going to show you why I say Trump and his cabinet are Delulu. That man is the most delusional man that has ever sat in the Oval Office.
One thing we know about Donald Trump and his MAGA minions, it's that they despise powerful Black people, especially Black women. So it should come as no surprise that Donald Trump said that Beyoncé should be prosecuted. And that's how you start a glitter civil war. At a recent rally, Donald Trump said the Department of Justice should go after Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and LeBron James. Clearly no crimes, but, he doesn't like their vibes. Donald Trump seriously treats his indictments like a Spotify playlist. Next up, Queen Bee. Oh, and now back to our regular conspiracies. Seriously, Donald Trump didn't explain anything. He just pointed at powerful Black people and said, prosecute, like it's karaoke night at Mar-a-Lago. The DOJ is not a fan club, Donnie. You can't just jail Beyoncé because you weren't invited on her tour. Coming after the Beehive? Bold move. Your next rally might get canceled over a flash mob in high heels. There's one thing we know about Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, the way we saw you dance, honey, I went to watch Beyoncé and I loved every minute of it. Every minute of it. Beyoncé is everything that your wife is not. Your wife is not beautiful. You aged her so poorly. You have her looking bad. The Botox is not working in her face anymore. Beyonce's body is amazing. And I'm going to tell y'all something. The cameras, the pictures in the magazine do not do that woman justice. Because in person, Beyoncé is impeccably, it's extremely, extraordinarily beautiful, exquisitely beautiful. Something that you don't have, Donald Trump, because you don't have somebody, a warm body to lay beside you at night. Your wife don't lay with the likes of you. She can't stand you. She would prefer to have the ex-prime minister of Canada than you. No woman wants to lay with you. If they do, they are sick in the mind. Caroline Levitt give you those puppy eyes and sits them boobies up high because she want to get your attention. And Marjorie Taylor Greene don't even give you attention anymore. And that's sad when you lose the likes of Marjorie Taylor Greene, who once gave you all of her attention. You only dislike Beyonce because she's a powerful Black woman. And people love her. Your race loves Beyonce. Everybody loves Beyonce, Donald Trump, but everybody does not love Donald Trump. You sit back with your ugly, fat self with that orange stuff all over your face, and you not need pigeon toed, running around with a pissy bag and a poop bag after you don't got your back door knocked out so much, and you want to judge black women. Sit back and be quiet, Donnie. No one likes you, but everybody loves Beyonce. You want to know who the most people that buy a lot of her tickets? White people. Beautiful white people buy her tickets. Nobody would pay for a ticket to go see you. I saw your rallies. They were empty. Empty. While VP Kamala Harris rallies was so full and delightful and beautiful to attend. Every race got along and loved on each other. But at your rallies, Donnie, you only wanted your people there because they don't like black and brown people. And they celebrated getting rid of brown people that you promised them you would do. And you have begun it. But God has the last laugh, Donald Trump. Keep your mouth closed on black women. So right now, the felon Donald Trump is reportedly seriously considering issuing a presidential pardon for Sean Diddy Combs, who was convicted on July 2nd of 2 federal counts: transportation of purpose of prostitution under the Mann Act. He has 2 felonies. P. Diddy has 2 felonies and Donald Trump has 34. Combs is currently awaiting sentence on October 3rd, 2025, and faces up to 20 years in prison. Though guidelines put him likely sentenced to 2 to 3 years range. I rebuke that. He deserved more years than that. And the reason why I'm talking about this today, because in the news today, P. Diddy is trying to get out on bail again. He has been rejected by that judge so many times. He's trying it again. He has the brains of Trump. I pray they do not give P. Diddy bail. And Donald Trump is considering pardoning P. Diddy and pardoning Giselle Maxwell. He's considering pardoning ex-traffickers. Wake up, MAGA. This is who you worship when you should be worshiping Jesus Christ. Donald Trump is not the second coming of Jesus Christ. He don't fit the bill, baby. He is not a man of the cloth. Hit the like button, you guys. Thank you. So I'm going to show y'all something, and it is Congress rejects Ghislaine Maxwell request for immunity. I'm going to show you, then I'm going to read it to you. And this is today's news. This has been brought to us today. Congress rejects Ghislaine Maxwell's request for immunity. Ghislaine Maxwell is expected to testify before the House Oversight Committee, but nothing new will come out of it. That's because yesterday Maxwell's team requested she be given immunity in exchange for her testimony. Otherwise, she would plead the fifth. The House immediately rejected her request, which would have shielded her from any legal punishment for unknown crimes she might admit to doing during her testimony. But this is the thing. The 2 days that she was being questioned by Donald Trump's attorney, she was given temporary immunity. So whatever she told him, it would not count against her. This lady does not deserve immunity. She helped Trump and Epstein with whatever they had going on. She was convicted and given 20 years. The victims testified against her, and she was found guilty and sentenced to 20 years for trafficking. Why am I asking that? When I know Donald Trump he's a dirty man. He's nasty. Why am I questioning he may pardon her? He just may do it, y'all. Let's be honest, America. This man just may do it. Everybody else said he pardoned all criminals. They did the crimes. He even pardoned people that was pedos. Yes. What's the difference between her? She's a pedo too. So whatever happened to Trump getting rid of waste? Trump is the waste in America. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. And I'm going to read it to you, okay? Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to my live. Hit that like button, please. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can send me super chats and super stickers. Also, in my description is my Venmo and my PayPal link. Please hit the like button. Okay, it said Trump's gift from Qatar will likely cost Americans $1 billion. I thought Trump was getting rid of waste. That's not something that's going to help the American people, because he plans on taking that to his library, the Trump library. So why is this something that should be costing the American people? It is his personal use. It will cost the American people $1 billion. The free AF-1 from Qatar raised eyebrows after $934 million was transferred to classified project, which officials saying that the aircraft needed millions in renovations, reports Newsweek. If it's free, then why are we sending $934 million? Okay. Remember, when Qatar gifted Trump an Air Force One, Newsweek reports shows that retrofitting and upgrades could cost the American taxpayers $1 billion or more. Wasteful spending. Donald Trump is wasteful spending to this country. He's taking us down. Okay, so Queen Kamala Harris has something to tell the American people, y'all. Yes, VP Kamala Harris has something to say. So I'm going to read to you what she says. It's a 2-page letter that she wrote to the American people. And this is from VP Kamala Harris. In this letter, she states she will not be running for governor. So I'm going to read it to you all, okay? Over the past 6 months, I have spent time reflecting on this moment in our nation's history and the best way for me to continue fighting for the American people and advancing the values and ideals I hold dear. I am a devout public servant, and from the earliest days of my career, I believe that the best way I could make a difference in people's lives and fight for a better future was to improve the system from within. And it has been a profound honor to do that work and serve the people of California and our nation. As a prosecutor, attorney general, United States senator, and vice president, in recent months, I have given serious thought to asking the people of California for the privilege to serve as their governor. I love the state, its people, its promise. It is my home. But after deep reflection, I decided that I will not run for governor this election. I have extraordinary admiration, and respect for those who dedicate their lives to public service to their communities and to our nation. At the same time, we must recognize that our politics, our government, and our institutions have too often failed the American people. Culminating in this moment of crisis. As we look ahead, we must be willing to pursue change through our new methods and fresh thinking, committed to our same values and principles, but not bound by the same playbook. For now, my leadership in my public service would not be in the elected office. I look forward to getting back out and listening to the American people, helping elect Democrats across the nation who will fight fiercely, and sharing more details in the months ahead about our plans. In the United States of America, power must lie with the people. And we, the people, must use our power to fight for freedom, opportunity, fairness, and dignity of all. I will remain in that fight. Signed, VP Kamala Harris. This was beautifully spoken. Y'all, I really enjoyed this. It meant a lot to hear from her because we don't hear from her as much anymore. So it really meant a lot. And that is a statement from VP Kamala Harris. She would not be running for California's governor. We will continue to have Governor Newsom, the nice looking man. It would have been a joy to have her, but I think she needs to stay in a position of where she will run for president. That would be the best bet for our queen, VP Kamala Harris. Okay, the orange perfume is so the orange buffoon, I meant to say, is so out of control. Someone take his phone. He's an embarrassment to the entire world. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, then I will read it. Carrier News says Trump calls Fox News a host, a real loser, after she calls for pow control. Trump took on Jessica Tarlov after she called for pow control and honored the families of the victims this week in deadly mass pow-powing in New York City, reports HuffPost. Why would he have a problem with that? Donald Trump, you haven't even spoken on what happened in New York City. She's right. It needs to be some control. Okay, this is what Donald Trump had to say. I'm going to show you, then I will be reading it to you. Hit the like button, please, you guys. Please hit the like button. So I'm going to read it to you. Donald Trump says, I can't stand Jessica Tarlov of the five, a real loser. And then he put DJT. Honey, we don't care nothing about you, DJT. Because of you and these repubs, there's a bad situation with pow-powing happening in our country. There needs to be some control. It has it where anybody can just get a pow-pow now. Donald Trump doesn't care about the American people, so it doesn't affect him and his children. He doesn't care. What a selfish, fat slob. Now I'm going to show y'all a video, and to me, this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. On March 7, 2025, Trump said they rigged the election and I became the president. I told you early on that I was going to show you this video again. This man would cheat and do anything. He would do anything. He did it to stay out of prison. He didn't want to be sitting in that jail cell in New York with P. Diddy.
It was made during my term, my first term. And it was so sad because I said, can you imagine I'm not going to be president? And that's too bad. And what happened is they rigged the election and I became president. So that was a good thing. It was a good thing. It was quite an achievement for both of us. So I'll be president during the World Cup and during the Olympics. When we made this, it was made during my term, my first term. And it was so sad because I said, can you imagine I'm not going to be president?
Oh, that would have been a blessing if he wasn't.
That's too bad. And what happened is they rigged the election and I became president. So that was a good thing. It was a good thing.
This big orange buffoon bragging about the crimes he does. It is not far to believe that he's part of the Epstein situation. Is he a partner of Epstein's? He could be, could have been. How we know Donald Trump is not the continuation of the Black Book? Like the madam says, Black Book. He claimed that Epstein stole some of his girls from Mar-a-Lago, his spa. Think about spas, what a lot of them do. Come on, people. Thank you, King Ralph Perry. Thank you for the super sticker. It means a lot. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for blessing me. You guys, if you'd like to send me super chats or super stickers, you are welcome to. Also, in my description is my Venmo and my PayPal. So you can send me something those two particular ways as well. So this is about Trump. And hold on, I can't play the music. Woo. These are the things that Trump has done. Hold on. I'm going to read them off. I'm going to show you. I'm going to read them off. I just can't play the music. 64 times Trump. Hold on. 64 times Trump mentioned Epstein in report. 97 times plead the fifth. 34 felony convictions. 91 criminal charges. 26 sexual assaults. 6 bankruptcies. 5 draft deferments. 4 indictments. 2 impeachments. 2 convicted companies. 1 fake university. This is moving so fast. It's a list, y'all, and it tells you about the things that Donald Trump has done because he's a horrible man. It's just moving too fast for me to read all of it. But I wanted to show y'all that because He's despicable. If this man does all those things and more, from E. Jean Carroll, etc., and alleged being involved in the Virginia Giuffre situation, what makes you think he was not involved with Epstein's situation? You must know that the way he's trying to keep us from seeing the true list without him having it redacted of his name, he did something terrible. Not something, something terrible, in my opinion. No one fights this hard to keep a list from being seen unless it's something really egregious that he has done. And then I think about how he's so afraid of Putin. Putin has something on Donald Trump. Putin was also cool with Epstein. I often wonder, was there a Brokeback Mountain situation going on? Come on, y'all. It's somebody got pictures somewhere of Donald Trump doing something he should not be doing. It's more than just the girls. Because the way Putin plays in his face about his wife and he does nothing is more than just the girls. Okay, I'm going to show you this right here, then I'm going to read it, okay? It said, turns out the current regime is filled with pedophiles and those who protect them. To top it off, MAGAs feel right at home and not bother at all. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. Then I'm going to read it to you and I'm going to show you exactly what they mean because I'm going to have to stretch the screen to show you, okay? Hit the like button, beautiful ones. It says, here are Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita's Express flight logs. Trump must have accidentally got on the wrong plane 8 times, apparently, with the guy he apparently had nothing to do with. And what they mean about that, because if you look at all of this in red, that is Donald Trump's name. Look at it. All of this in red is Donald Trump's name. So I guess 8 times he accidentally got on Epstein's plane. He said he never visited Epstein's island. But 8 times he accidentally got on Epstein's plane. Is that what happened, Donnie? Inquiring minds want to know. We're tired of being lied to. The American people are tired of being lied to. Every time he gets in that Oval Office, he lies. He takes from the American people. He makes sure that the billionaires are okay. He grifts while he's in there. And just continue to lie daily. He's lying about everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie about this Epstein situation. And we're going to listen to Virginia right quick. Uh-oh, hold on, because I had turned the music off.
She is a monster. She's worse than Epstein.
This is about Ghislaine Maxwell.
She did things even worse.
Hit the like button,
did.
please.
She was vicious. She was evil. And she's a woman.
Her lawyers have said
this is the woman Donald Trump is considering releasing Miss Maxwell from prison.
Media spin.
They're doing their job, but I know that woman. I've known her really well. Put it this way. Epstein was Pinocchio, and she was Geppetto. She was the guy controlling
the strings.
Jeffrey. Yep, she was pulling the strings. She had his money. He had her contacts, but Lillie was much more conniving and smart than Epstein ever was. She is a monster. She's worse than Epstein. She did things even worse than Epstein did. She was vicious. She was evil, and she was a woman.
Her lawyers have said Ghislaine Maxwell is not a Jeffrey Epstein, that she has been a victim of media spin.
They're doing their job, but
a victim of media spin when she abused these girls as well with Epstein. When he was doing his nasty work, she was there with him doing the nasty work. And she is being considered to be pardoned by Donald Trump. It doesn't surprise me. I keep telling y'all, she would not be the only pedo that he has pardoned. She wouldn't be. She'd be the only female pedo that he has pardoned.
This morning, I had the opportunity to interview Jess Michaels, a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein's horrific crimes. Her story is powerful, and she is speaking out so that more survivors can hear her story and hopefully speak out as well. I'm making this video as an intro before I share her story here because it's a trigger warning. It is serious. We discuss sexual assault. We talk about her story of how she was raped by Jeffrey Epstein in the early 90s. But you need to hear this. You need to hear it directly from her.
He raped me. I heard him pull $100 bills out of the robe, and he threw them on the table. I was devastated. I remember laying there, Aaron, and as I'm fogging out, like it's happening, and I can feel myself sinking inside. And the words that kept coming to me were, "You don't want this to happen. Why can't you just stop it? Why can't you just get out? Like, why can't you stop it?" I didn't scream. I didn't run. I didn't fight him at all. I just froze, which is also where I think a lot of self-blame comes in, because we think as an adult at 22, I should be able to do that. I should be able to protect myself. I should be able to make a different decision. And I didn't understand that when you freeze, you no longer have access to that part of the brain to make a decision.
I will say this, that story is not uncommon. And
no.
Young women all the time in situations like that experience almost exactly what you experience. So I don't want you to blame yourself ever for that, because it's a natural reaction that the body has. I guess he takes out the money.
Yeah.
The money on the table, $200. You leave. How are you feeling walking out of the building?
Yeah, I distinctly remember walking past that doorman that had let me up and not being able to say anything, noting that everything had just changed, that I'd somehow just lost everything. And I remember walking past him and thinking, and he can't even see it. He can't even see it, and I can't tell him. And I got on the subway going the wrong way. So there's a lot of brain confusion that's happening. And I stayed pretty catatonic throughout the night and into the next day.
This morning, I had the opportunity to interview Jess.
I understand, Jess, because what happens when SA happened to you, you go into survival mode. So there's shame. You pack it in the back of your brain. You kind of put it to the back of your brain so you can keep going on with life and not crash out. And people will be like, well, why you didn't tell when it happened? Like my entire childhood, it was happening to me. So because it had happened to me from grown men and it happened every day of my childhood. So when I got in my teen years, I continued to let it happen. I was already programmed. And you freeze, you freeze. Because once I got in my teen years and it was happening from different men, I would freeze up because I was already programmed to allow a man to take advantage of me. So I understand completely what she's saying, but they wouldn't get away with it today. In my adult years, I was a MF towards men. So they wasn't going to get away with that in my adult years. No, you wasn't getting away with it. I make sure I will punish somebody that did anything to me in my adult years. You pretty much going to pay the price for the person that did it to me when I was young, in my teen and toddler years and youthful years. You was going to pay the price. But I understand what she means. You will freeze up. And like she said, when she went downstairs, got off the elevator, and she was passing the bellman, the doorman, that he couldn't see what happened to her. And what she meant by that is, I'm carrying something that's a secret and it's hurting me, and nobody still sees me. It was like she was invisible to him when she left. Nobody could feel or see her pain. So I understand that completely. So I'm going to show you this next victim of Epstein's, which we discussed her already, but I'm going to show you this again because I want to refresh your memory of what happened.
I feel like everybody's forgetting that Trump and Epstein were co-defendants in a lawsuit accusing them of being a 14-year-old girl, and that the lawsuit was only dropped because she felt fear for her life.
Hit the like button,
Maybe
please.
people should
Thank
start
you.
talking about
Donald Trump had specifically asked
Katie
about me
Johnson.
because I remind him of his daughter, and she said, well, she's 13 as well. So he knew the first time that he saw me. But he comes over mad because I was crying. He said that I should be thankful that someone like Donald Trump took my virginity. Basically, didn't say took my virginity. He said I should be glad that someone like Donald Trump popped my cherry and not some pimply little 14-year-old. And I just was like, what if I said, what if I get pregnant? Not even talking to him. I didn't want to talk to him. I was talking to Tiffany. And he said, well, you abortion then, bitch. Just walked away.
I feel like everybody's forgetting that.
Remember, I showed y'all her case number, her case. In the case is Katie Johnson versus Donald J. Trump and Jeffrey E. Epstein. That's the case. That is the victim right there. These people are not lying. Donald Trump is not innocent by far. More with Donnie and his mess. Uh-oh, why is playing music? Okay, let's see. It says, Trump says Epstein stole young women for him at Mar-a-Lago, including Virginia Giuffre, where I showed you her. So that's just, they showing, I don't know why I saved that, because that, it's playing music and I can't play the music. So Trump in his bottom teeth just doesn't know when to shut up. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, because this is going along with what was going to be showed early just now. But just listen. While he's on the plane, Trump finally admits him and Epstein shared young girls from his spa. Hold on.
Epstein has a certain reputation, obviously. Just curious, were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women? Were some of them young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept.
Virginia was a teenager.
Is bad, but that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were. Yeah, the spa. Yeah, people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa, hired.
He had young girls working in there.
And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told them, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people. And he was fine. And then not too long after that, he did it again. And I said, out of here.
Did one of those stolen, persons that include Virginia Giuffre?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints.
He stole her. Listen to that.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. A person that he has gone on record and said multiple times when the name was connected to him. I don't know who you're talking about. We don't have any interactions. Now all of a sudden, she worked at the spa, Jason.
Loved it.
Worked at the spa, and she loved it. She wanted to be there, but he would take people away from me. And I said, you can't do that. You got to get out of here. But then he did it again. And it's like this Epstein story just keeps going because of one person and one person only. Donald Trump. That's it.
Epstein has a.
See, I'm going to tell you what happened to the brain when you get older. Get up to his age, it's going to happen to all of us. You tell things that you wouldn't normally tell. Because if you sit and talk to your grandmother or someone that's elderly, they will talk about the craziest stuff and you be like, oh my God, that is what's happening to this guy, the man in the Oval Office. He's just running his D-suckers and telling it all and don't realize he's incriminating himself.
Now a noticeably addled and confused Donald Trump was asked about MAGA's new burn bag distraction, but instead he responded as if he was asked a question about Jeffrey Epstein. It seems like he's unable to get Epstein off of his mind, and I wonder why.
Must be love on the brain.
Statement. Say it.
Bags full of Russian hate.
A burn bag. I thought you said appointed him in a burn bag. Go ahead. You got to speak up.
Thousands of documents in these bags, supposedly burn bags at the FBI in the secret room.
Well, I want everything to be shown.
No, he
as long
doesn't.
as it's fair and reasonable, I think it
Fair
will be
to
shown
him.
and it should be shown. And I think he feels that way, and I think Pam feels that way.
Pam protects Donald Trump.
It's got to be stuff that really doesn't hurt people.
They are covering up for him.
You have so many people involved, and if they can do that in a fair way, I think it's great. I think it's really great. The whole thing is a scam. It's a scam set up by the Democrats, and they love talking about it. But I would like to see people.
I'm gonna tell you, I can't listen to him no more because he the one ran on showing y'all the Epstein files. Now it's a scam by the Democrats. How? Your people are in the Republican Party are running things. The Dems are not running anything from the House, Congress, everything. Y'all have control of it all. Stop with your lies, Donnie. The more you run them thin, paper lip, thin D suckers, I'm just sick of you. I hate that I have to talk about you, but that is where I am in the algorithm because I'm gonna make it work for me because I'm stuck in the Donald Trump algorithm. And I thank God that he blessed me. I can get up here and do this work. But Donald Trump is the biggest compulsive liar. Hugely lies. That's his word. Bigly lies. And I can't listen to him right now, y'all. I can't do it. I just can't. He makes me want to vomit just looking at him.
What happened to the lawyer who got Epstein his bizarrely lenient plea deal when he was first arrested on sex trafficking charges in Florida? What happened to the lawyer who got him that bizarrely lenient plea deal? Well, Trump hired him to be his own lawyer. What happened to the U.S. attorney who gave Jeffrey Epstein that bizarrely lenient plea deal? Trump put him in his cabinet in his first term. Well, who then prosecuted Epstein a second time when he was brought up on federal charges? That was the SDNY line prosecutor who Trump inexplicably fired last week. Who was in charge of the Department of Justice and the Bureau of Prisons when Epstein then killed himself in federal custody? President Donald Trump, who bragged to a reporter about how much Epstein seemed to like women on the younger side, who said Epstein was a lot of fun to be with, who bragged that he was friends with Epstein for 15 years, who flew on his plane at least 7 times, and who now says that everybody needs to stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein right now? Answers there are Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, and Donald Trump. What happened to the lawyer who got Epstein his bizarrely lenient?
You want to know about the Epstein files? Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. You want to know who Pam Buddy and Kash Patel and the entire Republican MAGA cabinet covering for? Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
Trump may have fled to Scotland, but he can't escape the Epstein scandal. Ghislaine Maxwell is running off to the Supreme Court. The truth about Trump's so-called trade deals with the EU and Japan, Trump's utter surrender to Putin, the latest horrifying updates out of Gaza, the Republicans' latest attack on the climate, and how unions are fighting back against the regime, plus so much more. We just released the big new episode of the Midas Touch podcast. It's available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get podcasts. So check it out. Leave a 5-star review and let us know what you think. So Trump may have fled to Scotland, but he can't escape.
He fled to Scotland. The whole time he was trying to play golf, fake golfing and cheating at golf. Flies was flying all around Blubber Boy. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty egg must have cracked in the back of his pants. Because, you know, flies like funk. They was flying around Donald Trump. And flies were not flying around anybody else but Donald Trump. That's how bad that man smelled. So what the American people think of Trump. I'm going to show you what they think. And this comes from Bryan Cranston, an actor. What he thinks. He's part of America. So I said what American people think. I'm going to show you, then I'm going to read it to you. This is what Bryan says. I have stopped worrying about the president's sanity. He's not sane. And the realization of his illness doesn't fill me with anger, but with profound sadness. What I now worry about is the sanity of anyone who can still support this deeply troubled man to lead our country. I 100% second that. I stand by what he has said. If you stand with Trump, you too are insane as he. Why was a 16-year-old working at an adult spa owned by who? Donald Trump. There it is, folks. There it is. The question they never want you to ask. The answer they'll never be able to explain. But why was a 16-year-old working at Donald Trump's spa? Can anyone explain that? MAGA, please explain it. State board does not allow that. I know, I'm licensed. I had my own manicure and nail spa in South Carolina before I ever moved here. A 16-year-old cannot work in a spa. It's illegal. So why was there a 16-year-old girl working in Donald Trump's spa at Mar-a-Lago? And why was Epstein going there to get girls for Mar-a-Lago? I've never heard a businessman say stole girls. Think about it. That sounds like pimp talk. This has been alleged and also stated to have truth to it. I will leave it up to your own judgment. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, then I will read it to you. This old Mike Johnson, a twisted freak as well, him and his wife had adopted a little black boy. That don't set well with me. I'm going to tell you why, because Mike like black pink, black eggplant. I take that back. Pink is what he has. He likes black eggplant, so that doesn't set well with me, but we're going to get to the subject right quick. This says resist fascism. The law school where Mike Johnson was dean for 2 years, which never opened, so he lied apparently. I'm going to read this to you again. The law school where Mike Johnson was dean for 2 years, which never opened and had no students, was called Judge Paul Pressler School of Law. The same Paul Pressler that headed the Southern Baptist Convention and who was accused by 6 males, including a child, of actual misconduct. That entire MAGA party, criminals, in my opinion. Pedos, corruption.
Jeffrey Epstein is still hiding plenty of secrets. So let's talk about a big one. So we all know Jeffrey Epstein. Some of us are going to know the former Attorney General, Bill Barr, under Donald Trump. But did you know that Bill Barr, the former Attorney General of the United States, his father, Donald Barr, was the headmaster of a prep school in New York City while Jeffrey Epstein was employed there? Yes, here's Jeffrey when he was a teacher at this school.
And Jeffrey didn't even finish school to become a teacher.
And Donald Barr, Bill Barr's father, was the headmaster at the time. Now, obviously, it's disturbing looking back that this man would have hired this pedophile to work around teenagers, but now we have to talk about something really strange. So, Donald Barr was an author, and in the year 1973, while he was working as the headmaster, published it wasn't just any novel, though. It was called Space Relations, and the plot of the book was as follows, quote, Space Relations is a science fiction novel about a planet ruled by oligarchs who engage in child sex slavery. I'm not making this up. You can buy a copy of this book yourself and read it. I've read passages from it, and this is very disturbing stuff.
That's disgusting.
So Donald actually published that book while he was the headmaster of the school, at the same time that Jeffrey Epstein was there. And then decades later, Bill Barr, Jeffrey Epstein's former employer's son, would lead the prosecution against him when he was arrested, as he was the United States Attorney General at the time. If you still think these are all coincidences, I honestly just don't know what to tell you. Jeffrey Epstein is still hiding plenty of secrets. So let's talk about a big one.
Yep, Jeffrey Epstein is a man that's not alive, but he has many secrets. And it doesn't surprise me. I'm going to show you this and we're going to get out of here.
Mr. President, after 3.5 years, you regretted all the lying you've done to the American people.
All the what?
All the lying, all the dishonesties.
That who has done?
You have done. Tens of
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Tell the truth and shame the devil. Anytime you tell the truth about Donald Trump, he's going to treat you like you don't exist. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Thank you guys for coming to my live. I appreciate you. May God continue to bless you, and I love you. Goodbye.